Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Average Movie Review Podcast. Today we will be reviewing Daredevil Episode 8, Born Again. Um, if you haven't seen the episode, please go watch the episode. This episode will be full of spoilers, so let's get right into it. Another great episode leading up to the finale. I'm kind of upset that we only have one more episode left in this season. This season easily could have been a 22 episode season or even more than that. I don't even know. Honestly, it pisses me off because shorter seasons means shorter stories and kind of rush stories. And with this episode, as much as it was a good episode, like I would say that it was a little bit rushed because right off the bat in the beginning, like we see that, you know, Matt is kind of losing it with everything that's going on. He's having the conversation with his girlfriend Heather and everything, and and then Fisk's men show up, Buck, to give them the invitation to the party, and he's like actually kind of losing his mind at that point. Like, he's mentally he's breaking down because he's just like, why does Fisk know who you are? Why is Fisk your client and all of that stuff? And he's on edge, completely on edge, and it's kind of sad to see. And it was like a kind of like a very quick turnaround, I guess. Like, if it was maybe one more episode and then he kind of started losing his shit, I would have kind of understand. But like, I get it. Again, you have 2 episodes left. Now you have 1 episode left. So you have to kind of push the narrative as fast as you can, right? So you got to work with what you got, right? So that's the end of that. But I love the parallels of them showing how Vanessa and Fisk are coming together while Heather and Matt are kind of separating from each other, right? Like his relationship is deteriorating while their relationship is growing, right? And then she kills Adam, which is absolutely unprovoked and absolutely crazy. So that was pretty messed up. But it is what it is. What are you gonna do, right? I guess you do stupid things for love. So she did what she had to do. She kind of like killed that part of her, and I think it released her and it kind of brought her back closer to Fisk in a sense. So they seem to be very, very happy. They seem to be, like everything is back to normal. So good for them, I guess. But bad for Matt because Matt's relationship is completely being torn apart. And then he goes to the office and he completely loses it on Kirsten and the client and everything, and he finds out that Poindexter also wants to meet him. Bullseye in this episode was, as usual, fantastic. I love the fact that like whenever we see from his perspective, everything turns blue, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure there's meaning behind it. I just don't know what it is. I assume because he sees everything in blue. I don't know, like a target. So um, for him, he's just kind of like losing his mind, and he gets sent into Gen Pop by Fisk, which is pretty freaking crazy. I don't know if it was to die or to escape. I feel like it was to escape. I think Fisk wanted him to escape, but he might have taken it the wrong way as Fisk wanted him dead, which wouldn't make any sense because why would Fisk kind of want him dead, even though it does make sense, but it also doesn't because, Fisk uses him for stuff. And then, he's like, I want to meet with Matt. Matt comes in and he absolutely loses it with Poindexter. He doesn't even care. And I think that's where Matt's downfall is because usually he's more calm and collected and he's like thinking, but when it comes to him, he doesn't think about it, right? So Bullseye kind of has the upper hand in that relationship and in that meeting, and then which results in him getting away. And then also I want to point out the big fuck off right at the end, which was super freaking hilarious. I loved it because you could tell it came from Matt's heart. Like Charlie Cox, like that was Charlie Cox saying fuck off. It wasn't even Matt Murdock. It was Charlie Cox. Like you could feel it. Like that wasn't acting. That was a real fuck off. So honestly, amazing acting there. Great job. And this all leading up to the big finale of them going to the party and then Matt being at the party and listening in the conversations and realizing that Fisk is up, right? Like he is completely up. He knows exactly what he's doing and he's going to get everything he wants and he's working his way up. Oh, and then another character that I'm liking in the way that they're portraying as well is it Tony's character? I think his name is Tony, right? No, it's not Tony. Hold on. I just gotta quickly Google this. this cast. Here we go. Where is it? Daniel's character, played by Michael Gandolfini. He is so good. Oh my god, he is such a ass licker. It is so funny. Like, holy crap. Like, he literally worships the ground that Fisk walks on, and he does such a good job at it. It is so funny, right? And then they made him deputy mayor of communications, which is hilarious, right? This kid, he's just a kid. Like, what the hell does he even know? But hey, it's working for him, right? And then, you have the little side story of what's going on right now with BB Urich and the commissioner, and what could potentially lead to a big finale of next week, right? Like, them exposing Fisk's task force and everything, and like the people that are running that task force and how corrupted and how low they are. So that's another great way. But again, these are all, again, my whole thing is it feels rushed because all of these storylines are coming together and they're being woven into each other, but then they're also going to receive their finale hopefully by the end of season 1, right? Or we may continue some of the storylines till season 2, whatever it is. I feel like the task force will be ended by season 2, right? Because season 1, because we still need to see the big epic fight scene with Frank and Charlie with Matt at Matt's apartment, which I assume is his apartment, where that big final scene is, that we've been seeing in the trailers. So we know that's coming their way, right? And then the big shocker at the end of the episode was that, Foggy was killed by Vanessa and not Fisk, right? And Matt realizing that completely, finding out that it was Vanessa who ordered the hit and Fisk had nothing to do with it. Fisk didn't even know. Clearly, he had no idea. And then again, Matt doing Matt things, right? Him pushing into Fisk and then taking Vanessa away and then dancing with him, pretending like he has no idea what's going on because he's blind. Phenomenal. Masterclass acting by Mr. Charlie. Phenomenal job. And then him confronting Vanessa with everything, right? And then the final scene of Bullseye taking the shot, thinking that, I guess, Fisk wants him dead. Again, from the previous seasons, like, I don't think Fisk wants him dead. I know Fisk used him, but I don't think he wants him dead to that point. But my understanding from that would be probably the fact that he wanted him out of Gen Pop, but I don't like to escape from Gen Pop because it would be much more easier than solitary confinement. But I don't know what the situation is. So again, amazing job there to them with that whole scene, right? The aspect ratio changing, the music, the tension in the room, Matt hearing the heartbeat, Matt hearing the gun getting cocked and ready to be shot, and everything, right? And then Matt taking the bullet for Fisk, which is a huge thing, right? That kind of changes the whole perspective narrative of everything. Again, why did he do it? I'm sure he had a reason for it, right? There has to be. And again, Matt isn't those type of vigilantes that let people die, right? So he would have saved Fisk regardless. Like, if he really wanted to kill Fisk, he would have done it himself, right? So there's a difference on that part. So again, phenomenal episode, or phenomenal scene, really. Great episode, actually, but in my personal opinion, the pacing is off again. Like, you're pushing it too far. Like, you're pushing too many stories and you're weaving them into each other, and I don't know if the payoff's going to be good. Of course, we know that there's going to be a huge epic scene with him and Frank, some more action. Obviously, we're not going to get a conclusion to Fisk versus Daredevil in terms of, him being mayor and whatnot. I'm pretty sure that's not going to end by season 1. That'll probably be a more major task in season 2. We will definitely, I think, get rid of the task force in this one. Will Foggy return at the end of season 1? Who knows, right? We all know that Foggy most likely is still alive. What will happen to Vanessa in that sense as well? And yeah, and we'll, like, and then there's so many other open stories of, like, the White Tiger, Victor's knees taking it over and all of that too. So there's a lot happening. So I'm excited for next week. I'm pissed off that it ends next week because this show could have easily been a solid 20 episode season or even a 13 episode season where the pacing would have been better, I think, and like a lot of the things would have been not rushed. But again, you take what you get and you do the best you can. This episode was solid, 8 out of 10. And yeah, I'm excited for the next next episode, and let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm right, or if you think that it's going great. Yeah, I'd like to hear from you guys. So yeah, so thank you and have a wonderful day.